How's it going, everybody? Trevor Randles Outdoors Iowa here today. And we are out in the tree stand, you guys. First sit of the year, actually. Kind of wish it would have been sooner than this, but of course I've always been keeping pretty busy. So, I've had a few bucks coming through on cameras all through the month of October. We're at the end of October right now, and there's probably about 5 or 6 bucks that are plenty big to shoot. No monsters though. There was a really nice one. I actually bumped him up on the walk-in, you guys, unfortunately. I had crossed the creek and I haven't had time to come out and clear paths or anything, so it was a little bit noisy. But I mean, I got within 20 yards of him and he was bedded down just on the other side of the neighbor's fence. And he took off. He didn't stop. So I'm not quite sure what to think of that and if he'll make his way back here, but I've had him on camera a couple times. I'll go ahead and show you guys some pictures here. But he looks like a big, wide 6-point. If he has broad tines, I haven't been able to tell yet, I don't think. But definitely an interesting buck and got some character to him. I've got a couple 10-points running around and a couple nice 8-pointers. There's one 8-pointer that I seen him earlier in October. And I mean, he's thick. He's got some really thick mass to him. So that one would be pretty cool if he walks on by too, but yeah, we're gonna sit in the tree. Gonna be a longer sit today, actually. It is 2 o'clock. We're just getting settled in. So shoot light's over at like just before 6:30, I think. So we're gonna sit for not as long as I thought. About 4.5 hours or so. But who knows what might come by. We'll definitely keep an eye out. You never know what we might see. I also did just have some turkeys walk through right before I turned the camera on. Gonna see if I got that footage on the camcorder, and I'll show that to you guys too. But we're gonna keep our eyes open, keep on the lookout. There's a lot of leaves on the tree still, so it's gonna be really hard to see through this patch. But if anything comes through, we should see it. I might try to rattle a little bit later on. It might be a little early to rattle, but it could possibly draw some interest from a buck. So we'll try it probably later. Give it about an hour for the sit. This is actually the stand that I was able to shoot my buck in last year. Just a normal corridor that these bucks continuously travel every year. So pretty fortunate to have something like this. But we're gonna go ahead and get quieted down. Keep an eye out for some deer. If a doe walks by, we can shoot her. And hopefully a nice buck comes through. How awful would it be to tag out on your first trip out for a buck? Not that awful. Plenty of doe tags out there still. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let's see if we see anything. Check this out, guys. We've only been sitting for about 10 minutes. Heard some clucking, looked over. Turkeys, you guys. See where they end up. Alright, guys. I think we have a doe coming in. glad that I think he's seen me move my camera when he was at the bottom of my stand. Like he was 3 feet from the base of my ladder. So I moved the camera so you guys could see him a little bit better. And he knew something was up. But if he would have kept walking the way he was going, he would have winded me, probably snort me, so that worked out pretty good for us, I think. So it's about it's 3:40 in the afternoon. So maybe the deer are up and moving this evening. Might be a good sign. Pretty cool. I'm gonna have to change GoPro batteries here in a second. And I want to be ready just in case something else comes through. Trying to make sure he got far enough away. I don't see them, but they could take forever to get out of here. Man, if that was a doe, I was gonna smoke it. Granted, technically, his antlers were so small you could attack them with an antler tag here in Iowa. If there's no fork on the antler, and its antlers measure less than 10 inches, I believe, you're allowed to use an antlerless tag. But do you also want to shoot an up-and-coming buck? Every year there's always end up being some spikes. But pretty cool encounter, you guys, having him right at the base of the tree stand. That's exactly what I need a big buck to do. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I was shaking like a leaf. Didn't realize deer fever was gonna get me. But I think I do it with every deer pretty much. I didn't even notice he had spikes until about 20 yards. But I'm gonna go ahead and get these batteries changed out before something else walks in. What did the big buck say to the spike? You go first. I thought that was kind of funny. Alright guys, we're coming down to the last 30 minutes of shoot light. I haven't had anything else come through since the spike. Other than squirrels and rabbits. But it only takes 5 to 10 minutes for something to happen, so still optimistic. Plan on getting out for my first urban deer hunt in the next couple days. Can't tell if what I hear is a turkey or a deer. Too far to see it in the timber yet. But can we go off for an urban hunt and see if we can get a few does doing that? Definitely thought I'd be out a lot earlier this year than where I am, but we're going to try to hit it hard. I think my goal is to hunt the farm on the weekend and try to do the urban hunts on the weekdays if I can. A little bit harder when I work 12-hour shifts now instead of 8. But I think we can still get it done. If I have a short day where it's just a evening hunt or morning hunt, I can get that done. But the next weekend that I'm off without the kids, it's going to be starting the second week in November. So it's always a great time to be out. First and second week in November is usually my best luck. Just in case this is the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing that spike. Expect me to be out there a little bit more this year. I don't know how late in November I'm gonna bow hunt, but Shotgun season opens first weekend of December. And we're going to hit our heart until then. So, thank you guys for coming with me. I'll tell you what, good question. Would you guys have shot that spike? Sure would have been good eating. Anyways, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys later.